What's going on, guys, and welcome to foam rolling for the upper body. This is another Owen Performance Essentials routine, and today we're going to be talking about how to foam roll the upper body. So for today, you will need two pieces of equipment, the foam roller and the lacrosse ball. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, you want an orange hockey ball. If you don't have either, you can use a tennis ball for today, but I would highly recommend you go and get a lacrosse ball or another hard, very dense ball, because a tennis ball is just gonna kind of collapse. It's gonna be sliding around. It's just not practical. But if you need to use something to get it done today, go for it. If not, you could stop by Owen Performance, there's only one. You could stop by Owen Performance, well, there is only one there now at this moment. You could stop by Owen Performance and pick one up here. We do sell them here, so feel free to swing by and grab one. And anyway, grab your tools and let's get going. All right, so to get this thing started, grab your foam roller. We're gonna start on the ground. We're gonna roll basically from our mid-back. We're gonna roll on the side of the spine. We're gonna roll all the way up to just below our neck. And what we're gonna try to do is hit as much of the musculature as we can with the roller. And then right after that, we're gonna jump into the lacrosse ball work. So what you wanna retain from anything that we've done so far is really just understand that it's the same rules that apply from the lower body to the upper body. And you want to make sure you maintain those three rules. If you haven't seen our lower body, I'm going to link it right above here. If you have seen the lower body one, the same rules apply. So 1 inch per second, 1 to 2 inches per second. You want to make sure that you are doing a good job of constantly moving around so that you're changing up the angles. You're kind of exposing different areas to the foam roller. And number three, if you find something that's a little bit sensitive, work on that area and spend a little bit more time as well, working just around the area to make sure that we really undo whatever problem is there as best we can with the foam roller. So we're gonna start on our back, and what we're gonna do is you're not gonna be straight on. So if you're noticing from this camera back here, I'm gonna be turning off the side. So I'm not straight on, I'm turning off, I'm on the side here, I'm crossing my arms. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit hug here. So what that's gonna do is that's gonna expose as much musculature as possible. And I'm just gonna lift my body up and I'm gonna roll right to the top of my shoulder here and then come back down. And so my butt is basically off the ground for this. So there is a clearance underneath me. So I'm really loading the muscles there. If you find it's a little too intense, just put your butt on the ground and just slide it across the ground. So what that's gonna do is just kind of take a little bit of stress off of that area. And we're doing the same thing here. We're going nice and easy. We're gonna spend about a minute just kind of going up and down. Look for really sensitive areas. A lot of you may feel some sensitive areas, especially up closer towards the neck, so in the trap area. And the reason we're gonna feel that up here is because when you are spending a lot of time in your day under stress, so working at a computer, cooking, doing anything with your hands, sometimes we don't breathe properly, and the improper breathing and the lack of control of our breath is actually causing us to carry a lot more stress in the upper shoulders and not really allow our body to relax and really not overdo that muscle. You know, a lot of this comes in, we're gonna switch sides here, so you're gonna roll to the opposite side, cross the arms again, doesn't matter. You don't really have to change. It's not really gonna you don't really have to change the positioning of the arms. You can just turn if you feel a little bit more comfortable on one side, or if you just wanna switch it up. And what you're really looking to do with making sure that you get up to the upper shoulder here is that you wanna hit globally all of the muscles, all the bigger muscles that are in the upper back areas. So you're gonna get the mid-rhomboids, the mid-traps, the rhomboids. You're gonna get the low traps. You're gonna get a bit of upper trap. We're really gonna focus on the upper trap when we get against the wall and we start using the lacrosse ball. Spoiler alert, we're gonna need a wall. So when you are doing the mid-spine, the reason why you wanna stay off the spine, and there's a bunch of different rollers, there's other tools that a lot of people use, like something called a peanut, which is basically like two lacrosse balls or two tennis balls stuck side by side, and they kind of like squeeze them together and tape them together so that they can really create that space between your spine so that you're not putting pressure directly on the spine, because that'll cause irritation, sensitive. You can push something around, you can shifting, you can cause some displacement, you can cause some shifting, some grinding. You want to avoid anything along that spine and putting direct pressure on it. So what I would do is I would always tell people just turn off to the side and turn to the other side to get the opposite side. So you're not really rolling directly on that spine. So that was the upper back. That was the mid to upper back. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the lats. So the lats are basically the big muscle here that kind of generates all of this action. So the driving arms down. It's also what stops you from being able to really reach overhead often because it's pulling the shoulder in. It's doing a lot of rotation in the shoulder. It's really just trying to hang on. It is a big mover. And the reason we want to roll is because we're going to be using it a lot during our workout. So we did attack a bit of it when we were rolling our back. So we got a portion of it as we were rolling our back. Now we're going to get the upper portion. And basically what you're gonna do is just turn off to the side here. So my body's on the side. So if you can notice in this camera here, off to the side, I'm basically getting my arm to be stretched out here. So the roller is right in the middle of my entire torso here. So I'm centered right, I'm actually centered on the roller, so another roller centered on me. I'm centered on a roller. And I'm just gonna allow myself to slide down just a bit. And I'm gonna come up to just past my armpit. And I'm just gonna do that again, same thing. As I'm doing this, I'm remembering my second rule of turning my body down to the ground and then rotating back a bit here to get a little bit further behind. But I'm really trying to focus on the lat. I do call this a lat roll, but at the end of the day, there's a lot more than just the lats that are being rolled there. So rotator cuff muscles, teres majors under there as well. So you're getting some bigger muscles here. You're getting a bit of the shoulder blade, but again, muscles around the shoulder blade, but again, anything that you're gonna be doing, it's really just trying to hit a lot of the musculature. And even though we do hit it multiple times, because in the shoulder, I'm gonna get those small ones, but I'm gonna touch them a bit now with the roller. It doesn't really matter. We're not gonna be overdoing it because we're not grinding away at this forever. We're just making slight little adjustments as we go. So same thing here, switching sides, grabbing the roller underneath my arm. I'm lying on top of it, I'm dead center here. And a lot of athletes I've noticed rely on one or the other. So they're either gonna roll their upper body or they're just gonna solely use a lacrosse ball. Lacrosse ball is great because in the shoulder, you've got there's so much going around the shoulder blade and so much intricate small muscles that are kind of working, controlling the shoulder blade. I think there's about 17 to 18 or 18, 19, something like that. And somewhere around there, but there's a lot. There's more than 16, that's for sure. And because of that, you've got to really work on getting all the tiny areas around it because the bony protuberances, so your shoulder blade, your spine, your shoulder here, they're really basically kind of getting in the way and they're stopping you from really getting deeper into that muscle, deeper into the muscles and getting into the smaller areas because the roller's so big that it always hits these big joints and it really kind of sits on the big muscles and doesn't allow you to really get in there. So I usually like to use a lacrosse ball to help my athletes get into the tight areas and kind of work through some stuff because, you know, if you are a hockey player, it's upper body, there's a lot of upper body involved. If you're, you know, throwing a ball, if you're a baseball player, football player, if you're throwing the ball, you're a quarterback, you're a tennis player, racket sports, golfer, your sheer ability to move your shoulder is really important. So you want to make sure you're rolling through, and it's just good for natural posture, you know? So you want to make sure you work through those areas. So once we've gotten the lats done, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll closer and onto my stomach, and I'm going to try to get my my pecs done. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm actually staying kind of on my side, but instead of being on my side, I'm going to turn down towards my stomach. So my arm's going to move a bit further away from me, and all I'm going to do is just roll my pec. So from this angle, you'll see that the roller is kind of a little bit more onto my center and onto my stomach. And from this angle, you're going to see it's a little bit on an angle. So I'm not completely straight with it, but I'm coming off on a 45-degree angle so I can really get into that area and not have my shoulder be kind of compromised. If I go like this, it's sitting on my ribs. If I come straight on, then what's gonna happen is I'm really not getting into I'm not gonna be able to get up into the pec muscle area where the tendon attaches up here. So I wanna come through that and I wanna follow that tendon line and basically just come straight down right into the tendon and then roll down to the center. You can move the roller around right? So you don't have to stick to that one position of rolling. You can kind of turn it. You can actually go straight if you want to get more of the muscle belly at some point, but you want to make sure that you're not missing a lot of this kind of joining area right around there where the muscles kind of joining into the tendon. I'm gonna get the other side here. Same thing, keep your body down. And as you're working through it, you wanna make sure you're trying to control that breath. So if you notice there are sensitive areas, one of the things I like to tell people is when you have sensitive areas, especially in the upper body, I'm not gonna be looking at the camera too much, this is a really awkward position to lift my neck, but I'll just turn and look at this one. When you are foam rolling the upper body, because your lungs are located there, you carry a lot of stress there. Bracing your lungs and not controlling your breathing is going to impair your ability to relax the tissue and relax the muscles around it to be able to roll without excessive pain and really feeling like you're doing more damage than you are doing good. So what you want to do is control your breathing, remember to relax as much as you can through it so that you're not causing more problems. So now that we've done basically the upper shoulder areas, we've done, the back, we've done the lats, we've done the pecs, we've done basically all the bigger musculature in the body. You can go and do the shoulders. I like to do them against the wall with the ball because I can feel like I can get in there more. But in essence, grab your ball, let's get up against the wall and let's get the next part going. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your lacrosse ball or orange hockey ball or whatever it is. You want something that's gonna be hard enough. Tennis ball won't really do because it's gonna slide and it's also gonna crush itself. So I like lacrosse balls. The rubber is gonna allow it to really stick to any surface. It's not gonna be falling and sliding behind your back. So you're not gonna be chasing you around all the time. And it's really gonna be hard enough so that when you're using it with other areas like your foot or your hip, it's not gonna just kind of crush and collapse in itself and you're not really gonna be getting the benefit out of it. So you wanna make sure that you are using a lacrosse ball or a orange hockey ball or some kind of really dense ball that's not gonna collapse on itself, okay? So grab your ball. What we're looking to do is we're gonna be rolling. You have to imagine your spine and you have to imagine your shoulder blade on each side. You've got some muscle running here on both sides of the spine that we're gonna get to just about, so we're basically aiming from below the, right at the bottom of the shoulder blade up to the top of the shoulder. So from here right down to the mid back, and then we're gonna go on each side of the spine. We're gonna go along the top of the shoulder blade, and then we're gonna come into the pockets in the shoulder blade. When we're in there, then when we're done doing that area, we're gonna do the top of the traps, and we're gonna turn and get the pec. So right up in here, we're gonna get a pec minor muscle that's right inside here. So let's get that ball, and I'm gonna place it on my back. So I'm gonna be looking to place it right around here. Now what I'm doing with that is I'm gonna take it from the bottom, I'm gonna start at the bottom so that as I'm gonna sit down into my kind of stance here, the ball is gonna roll up. So you'll notice from this camera on the side here, I'm starting, my feet are further, a little bit away from the wall, and what I'm doing is I'm just dropping near the ground. I'm sitting down and I'm coming right back up and out of it. So I'm not trying to go and like reach up to get to the bottom. I'm starting at the bottom, just nice and easy. I'm just sitting down a bit and rolling through the middle of my spine. Now, what I would tell you to do is, let's say you start with your arm out to the side. You're gonna wanna place the ball from your armpit straight over. So find your armpit area, roll it right over to the side. That's gonna be where you're gonna wanna start it and then just drop down. So you're not too low where you can't even get up between the shoulder blades. So once you've done that, we're gonna roll between the shoulder blades. You should be still doing it right now. And we're gonna spend some time doing this area. Like I said, you wanna be holding and supporting your arm and really kind of almost hugging yourself to allow yourself to really expose that musculature. We're gonna switch sides here, placing it on the back. I know where I put it, so I just quickly drop it to the other side here. And you can continue going through this as I talk and as I stop, so just continue going until I tell you to switch it up. Again, same thing. And what you're gonna be doing is rotating and I'm saying you're not moving away from the shoulder blade, you're just moving from center off just a touch so that you can expose some musculature that's a little bit closer to the shoulder blade. If you find like you're not getting high enough into the trap, it's okay. We're gonna get that area after as we come across the top of the shoulder. So again, you're just sitting down and just really trying to work through that area as much as you can. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get across the top of the shoulder. So what you'll do is you're gonna place it on the wall, basically in line just on the inside of your spine again. We're gonna place it on top of the shoulder. So you can see from this camera here, just on the opposite side, on the outside of my shoulder. And from here, I'm just rolling and turning right back to straight. So I'm turning my body, facing this camera here, and turning back, facing you guys to the side here, and we're just going back and forth. What I'm doing with that is I'm really, and this might be the sensitive one for you. It's very possible that a lot of us are gonna feel some pain, some sensitivity in there. Notice that I'm dropping my back to get a little bit higher. So from straight, I push my hips forward just a bit, and that's gonna allow me to get a little bit higher in the neck area. And from here, really trying to focus on the breath, okay? If you're not focusing on your breath on this one, it's gonna make it a lot more painful. And again, we're not going for excruciating pain. We're just going for a little mild discomfort, nothing crazy. Switching sides here, coming into the center. And again, just rolling off to the sides here. And what we're really trying to release here is upper traps, another muscle called levator scapula. These are, I'm getting a little technical on you for a second here. These are muscles that are going to assist in pulling the shoulders up, pulling the shoulder blade up, and assisting in basically creating some space for the lungs to move as well. So if you are breathing really heavily from the shoulders, these are gonna really feel it. Usually if people are stressed, top of the shoulders will definitely feel pain. So what I'd like to tell people is spend some time working through these areas, okay? Spend some time getting into the tissue, getting into that soft tissue, making sure that you're not kind of, allowing this one to build up and become a major issue for you, okay? So from there, we're gonna go and get sorry, my allergies are getting to me. We're gonna go and get the shoulder blade. So imagine the shoulder blade, you've got a line going, we just did the top, we're gonna do inside the shoulder blade. So what I do is I place it here to the side, and I'm really just gonna hold my arm again so I don't get any, I don't get any support from this side, so I can really relax as much as I can and really get those muscles kind of release. And I'm just working through that area, kind of just underneath what we call the spine of the shoulder blade. And we're just going to get in there. You're gonna find one area. So for me, I found one area that's kind of in that pocket. It's very sensitive. It's gonna feel a little painful. It's gonna feel kind of weird at the same time. That's what I feel for myself. So that's one of my areas that I spend a lot of time working on. And again, if you find something, hunt around for other areas around it. So you wanna make sure that you're not just ending on that one spot or missing everything else and just kind of letting the rest go. Getting the other side now. What makes foam rolling effective and what makes it useful for you is that when you are foam rolling, you're not just doing it one time and never doing it again. The goal of this and the premise of this is to make sure that you're foam rolling, found that spot again, is that you're foam rolling on a regular basis. What I mean by regular is daily. It's very simple. If you foam roll daily, you will start seeing benefits. You will start really seeing the benefits of foam rolling. It will start becoming part of your daily routine as it is mine. And if you don't do it on a daily basis, you're gonna start running into a lot more problems. You're gonna notice that you're not recovering well between workouts. I mean, again, the research is still out there. I feel a big difference if I foam roll my day and if I don't. Huge difference. So it's very hard for me not to kind of lean towards daily foam rolling and daily soft tissue work because I simply just feel a huge benefit from it. Okay, so we've done that one. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the pec. So what you wanna do with the pec here is you're gonna get yourself up against the wall. You're gonna get yourself up against the corner. So I go into the corner like this, and what that allows me to do is really just focus on driving my weight into the wall and just kind of moving around. And it's not really the pec that we're trying to get, it's the pec minor. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hand, straighten it out, and you're gonna close by bending your elbow. Wherever your palm would be, that's where the ball's gotta be. So you're gonna place it really just kind of inside of the armpit area, sit on it, and just kind of move around. And I like to stay within a circle that I can make basically by taking my index finger and my thumb. I'm gonna sit inside a circle no bigger than that and really just try to work through that area. Again, breathing assisting muscle, it's postural muscle. So if your breath is off, your posture is off, this one is gonna take it. This is one of those muscles that if you give it some space, it will take it and take more. So you've got to really spend some time working through this area. We're gonna switch sides, get the other side here. And again, when I'm working this area, what I'm looking to do is really focus on making sure that I'm not kind of holding back my breath. I'm really focusing on getting my breath to really feel under control. I really feel calm with it because again, as they are breathing assisting muscles, as a lot of muscles in the shoulders are, what you are gonna notice is that you will be struggling to really relax and really get the benefits out of this and really be able to do it without excruciating pain if you are holding your breath and not relaxing. Last one we're gonna do is gonna be the deltoids. So basically the muscle on the side of the arm here, pushing your body into the shoulder, pushing your body into the wall here and just kind of moving up and down and just kind of working on releasing that muscle. Again, as you notice, I'm rotating a bit because I'm trying to get the entire muscle belly itself. We could have done this on the roller, but I think that the muscle's a little too kind of, there's a bone that's you're gonna notice once you roll over it, it kind of doesn't allow you to really get a lot of the musculature and get around it because it kind of blocks it. So it's easier to get with the ball. You can get a similar job with the roller. So if you do it on the ground on the roller, it's not the end of the world. Switching sides here. So I like to spend some time making sure that I get my deltoids rolled out as well. And a lot of the upper body workouts that I do don't necessarily, put such heavy demand on it, but they are prime movers. They will help you move and they will help you generate a lot of force, especially when you're pressing overhead, especially if you are an overhead athlete. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're incorporating them in some way into your soft tissue regimen. And so again, moving up and down, rotating, keeping your body moving. If you find something that's sensitive, just sit on it and make small circles in it and then small circles right around that area or lines up and down. Whatever you choose to really just kind of work out the supporting areas, the surrounding areas, try to get it done like that. And again, guys, keep doing this on a daily basis. If you do it on a daily basis, I'm sure you'll start seeing some results. Okay? See you guys in the next one.